Hi Prabhastas, welcome to another new masterclass session on Wipro NLTH quantitative aptitude topic. And in this session, we are going to discuss about few questions. So for each and every question, I will provide you 1 minute time. After that, I will start my explanation and compare your answers with my explanation, and it gives you little bit of practice for your examination. All these questions are for your practice only, which are prepared by our Prabhasta team according to the difficulty level of Wipro NLTH. This is Mohan. So let's start our session without any delay. So before going to start the session, please subscribe and like to our channel. It helps us to create more videos for you guys. So without any delay, let's get started. Our first question: the speed of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are 30 km per hour and 40 km per hour respectively. Initially, Virat Kohli is at a place A and Rohit Sharma is at a place B. The distance between A and B is 650 kilometers. Rohit Sharma started his journey 3 hours earlier than Virat to meet each other. If they meet each other at a place of D, somewhere between A and B, then find the distance between D and B is. So your options are 220 kilometers, 250 kilometers, 330 kilometers and 320 kilometers. For this question, I am giving you 1 minute time, guys. So your timer starts now. I hope everyone done well, right? So just look at the question how we will do. Rohit Sharma's speed is 30 km per hour and Virat Kohli's speed is 40 km per hour, and there is a distance of 650 kilometers between A and B, some 2 points, and Virat Kohli started at a place A. So here is the Virat Kohli started from this direction and Rohit Sharma is starting from the direction like this, and he started from the point B. And Rohit starts his journey 3 hours earlier. So before starting the Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma was started earlier 3 hours. That these 3 hours only Rohit travels towards A, such that what is the distance traveled by Rohit Sharma for these 3 hours? For every 1 hour he travels for 30 km per hour, right? So for these 3 hours he will travel 9 km. So already 9 kilometers journey was completed by Rohit Sharma, and now Virat Kohli also started now after 3 hours. So this is the distance when they are together started. So what is this distance between Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma now? Total distance 650 kilometers minus 90 kilometers. So we have obtained with 560 kilometers is the distance between them when they are together started. Okay. Now Virat Kohli with the speed of 40 km per hour and Rohit Sharma with the speed of 30 km per hour, and they are traveling towards each other. We know that what is the relative speed when the two objects are moving towards each other is nothing but S1 plus S2. You have to add the two speeds. 40 plus 30 total 70 km per hour. So this is the resultant speed of those candidates. And what is the distance between them? Is nothing but 560, right? So 560 is the distance and the total relative speed is 70. So This is the time taken by these two people to meet at somewhere. The somewhere point he has given that it is D. So in order to meet at this point, Virat Kohli is traveling like this and Rohit Sharma traveling like this. So in order to meet this point, the total distance should be covered by both the people. So that's why I have sum up the speeds. Why? Because they are traveling towards each other. So 560 by 70 kilometers is your required time. Is nothing but 0 0 got cancelled and 8 times. So distance by speed, which gives you 8 hours time. So in 8 hours they will meet with each other somewhere between A and this point, something I am assuming it as a C. So somewhere between D. Okay, then now he is asking about what is the distance between D and B, not C. He is asking about what is the distance between D and B. Just look at here. What is this total distance? This total distance was travelled by Rohit Sharma only. Right? From B to C, Rohit Sharma travelled for 3 hours. From R to D to meet Virat Kohli, he travelled for 8 hours. So what is the total time period travelled by the Rohit Sharma in order to make a meeting at D with Virat Kohli? Is nothing but total 11 hours, right? So the total time travelled by the Rohit Sharma is 11 hours, and in every 1 hour he travels 30 km per hour, such that what is the distance? Distance equal to speed into time, such that 11 into 30 is your total distance travelled by the Rohit Sharma to meet Virat Kohli at particular point D. So the distance between B and D is 330 kilometers. So your answer is option C. If you like this explanation, please like and subscribe to our channel. It will give us a boost to create more and more free masterclass videos like this. So don't forget to subscribe and like our videos. So just look at into the next question. 4 liters of mixture contains 1/5 of the milk and rest is water, and another 5 liters of mixture contains 1/6 of the milk and rest is water. The ratio of milk and water in the mixture if they are poured into a container with a capacity of 9. So you have to find the ratio of the milk and water in the new container after those two mixtures combined with together. So for this question I am giving you 1 minute time. Your timer starts now. Let's look at the solution now. How we will do is nothing but 4 liters of mixture of container, 1/5 of the milk and rest is water. Tell me that what is the quantity of the milk in the first liquid is nothing but 1/5 of the 4 liters, right? So 4 liters into 1/5, which is equal to 4/5 liters, is the quantity of the milk in the first mixture. And what is the rest is nothing but water, right? So if 1/5 is milk, then water will be 4/5, right? So water quantity is, it is actually 4 liters, and in that 4/5 fifth part is water. So 4 4s are 16/5 liters. So this is the quantity of the milk and water in 4 liters of mixture. Then what is the quantity of the milk and water in 5 liters? Just look at here. Milk in the 5 liters mixture is 1/6. So out of 5 liters, there was only 1/6 of the milk was there, such that 5 into 1/6, 5/6 liters. Then what about the water? Already 1/6 is milk, then remaining 5/6 is water. So 5 into 5/6, which is equal to 25/6 liters. So if you add these two, 4/5 plus 16/5, again 20/5, which is nothing but again 4 liters. 5/6 plus 25/6, which is nothing but 30/6, which is nothing but 5 liters. So the quantity was divided according to the fractions he has given. Then next the step is nothing but the two mixers were poured into the another container of 9 liters. Now look at the quantity of the milk is here 4/5 liters and 5/6 liters. What is the total quantity of the milk in the new mixture is nothing but 4/5 liters plus 5/6 liters, right? And when coming to the water, in the first container the quantity is 16/5 and in the second mixture it is 25/6. 5, 6 are co-prime, so then what is LCM? Directly multiplication, 30. 24 plus 25 is the milk ratio, and water is total quantity, again LCM is 30. 6 16s are 96 and 5 25s are 125, right? So whenever the denominators are equal, I don't simplify these equations. Why? Because I need to find the ratio of milk and water. What is the milk ratio? It is nothing but 24 plus 25. The answer is 49. Divided by 30 is 2. 96 plus 125. So answer 221. So answer simply 221. Divided by 30. So whenever the denominators are equal, just cancel them out. And we have obtained with 49 is to 221. So there is no other numbers dividing these two numbers, 49 and 221. Yes, no other numbers are there. So yeah, option A is your answer. I hope everyone understand. If you are not able to understand, please post your comment in the comment section. Just look at the next question now. Sorry, it's actually not like this. It is actually 0 factorial whole power 0 factorial plus 1 factorial whole power 1 factorial plus 2 factorial whole power 2 factorial plus 3 factorial whole power 3 factorial plus and so on plus 50 factorial whole power 50 factorial. So when this expression is divided by 5, then what will be the remainder? You have to find. For this problem, I am giving you 1 minute of time. Your timer starts now. I hope everyone done well. Just look at here. We have to do the concept of divisibility rule of 5. In order to get the remainder, we have to know the divisibility rule of 5, right? What is the divisibility rule of 5? If the last unit digit is divisible by 5, then entire number will be divisible by 5. If the last digit number is 7, then what will be the remainder? All the remaining number will be divisible by 5 and the last 7 will give you the remainder. 7 it cancels for 5 and we will get with the remainder 2, right? So just look at here. What is meant by 0 factorial? 0 factorial is nothing but 1 and 0 factorial again 1. 1 power 1 is nothing but last unit digit is 1. So now I am trying to find all the unit digits, which is nothing but when you divide the entire expression by 5 is nothing but individually dividing by 5 also is correct, right? So that's why I am finding the individual unit digits of each and every term. Now 1 factorial whole power 1 factorial. 1 factorial is 1. 1 factorial is again 1. So 1 power 1 again 1. So for 0 it is 1. For 1 factorial also it is 1. Then what about 2 factorial? Power 2 factorial. 2 factorial is nothing but again 2. 2 factorial is nothing but 2. 2 into 2, 2 square is 4. So these are the unit digits I am getting. Okay. Next, 3 factorial whole power 3 factorial. 3 factorial is nothing but 6. 6 power 6. What will be the last unit digit? If you know the last unit digits concept, it is very easy. 6 power anything, last unit digit will be always 6. And 4 factorial whole power 4 factorial. 4 factorial is nothing but 24, right? Power 24. If 4 power n, 4 power 2n, 4 power 2n is always gives you the remainder as 6. 4 power 2n plus 1, if 4 powers having the odd number, it always gives you the 4 as the unit digits. You need to know aware of all those things in the number system and divisibility rules and remainder theorems. And 24 power 24 is nothing but 4 power even number 4 power 2n, which will give you the unit digit as 6. And now coming to the 5 factorial whole power 5 factorial is nothing but 5 is nothing but 120, right? 120 power 120. If the last unit digit is 0, then it will definitely divisible by 5. Why? Because from the 5 factorial onwards, each and every term consists of 5. If one of the number is 5, definitely the numerator will cancel the denominator, right? So after 5 factorial, 6 factorial also consists of 5 into 6 into 4 into 3 into 1. So again denominator 5 and numerator 5 will get cancelled, right? So all the remaining terms after 5 factorial will give you the remainder as 0. Why? Because there is a 5 always in the numerator. So remaining all terms no need to consider. Only you have to consider up to 0 factorial to 4 factorial. So what is the last unit digits? 1, 2, 1, 1, 4, 6 and 6. So you have to add them, right? So add those unit digits simply 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 6 plus 6. If you add them 6, 4, 10, 16, 17, 18. 18 and what will be the last unit digit? Again 8, right? So 8 divided by 5, what will be the remainder? Simply the remainder will be 3. So for the total this expression, when you divide by 5, you will get the remainder as 3. Option C is correct answer. Just look at the next question. A selection is to be made for one captain and two posts of vice captain. Amongst the 10 candidates in a team, only 2 are eligible for the role of captain, while they are all eligible for the role of vice captain. The number of possible combinations to the select is. For this problem, the options is given as 45, 56, 108 and none of these. For this problem also, I am giving you 1 minute time, guys. So meanwhile, if you like this video, please share and subscribe and like our videos. Your timer starts now. I hope everyone done well. Just look at the question how we will do. How many number of candidates were there? There are 10 candidates. So 10 candidates were there. And there is a chance for 2 people select as a captain. So how many captains you have chosen? 1 captain among how many? 2. So you have to select, right? For simple selection, what is the term you will use? Is nothing but combination, right? Combination. You have to select one person from 2 candidates. So what is the possibility or what is the number of ways you can select? Is nothing but 2C1 combinations you have to use. And is nothing but into. You can select 2 posts for the vice captain from how many members? All are eligible for the role of vice captain. So how many members are there? 10 members are there such that you can select 2 members from them. So this is the total number of possible ways. So 2C1 is nothing but simply 2 into. What is 10C2? Is nothing but simply 10 into 9 by 2. You all know NCR formula, right? So that's simple. So 2 got cancelled and 10 nines are 90 ways is your answer. But in the options, 90 was not given. So option D is your answer, none of these. Just look at the next question now. The respective ratio 5:3 is between the monthly salaries of Raju and Ravi. Out of his monthly salaries of Raju gives 1/6 as rent, 1/5 to his mother, 30% as his education loan, and keeps 25% aside for miscellaneous expenditures. Remaining 5,000 rupees he keeps as savings. What is the Ravi's monthly salary? So for this problem, I am giving you 1 minute time. After that, we will start our explanation. Your timer starts now. I hope everyone done well. Just look at the question now. So the monthly incomes of Raju and Ravi are given in the ratio 5:3, right? So Raju and Ravi's salary in the ratio 5:3. Just look at how we will do. And here's the total information given related to Raju. And we have to find the Raju's incomes first. Then we will compare Raju's income with Ravi's income to get our answer. So in order to do that, when I look at these options, 1/6 was given to rent, 1/5 was given to mother, and 30%, 25% is nothing but you have to take a number which is multiple of denominator 6 and 5, which will give you the easy calculations, right? So for that, I am using Raju's income as 1500x. So it will makes me more comfortable to calculate the answer. Why? Because you have to take the LCMs of 6, 5, 30% and 25% that. So for that, it is also 5 multiple. So simply 6 5s are 30 and 5 multiple again. So is nothing but I am taking as 1500, which looks good for calculations. 1500x is the salary of Raju. Then what will be the Ravi's salary? It is nothing but 5 times, right? So 3 times, right? So it is 900x. So this is the incomes of Raju and Ravi. Now tell me, so now we have to find the total expenditure of the Raju and we will come up with the salary of Raju. Then we will establish the salary of Ravi. So here, right hand side of this table, I am assuming all the expenditures of Raju. Raju is rent expenditure is 1 by 6th he has given. So 1 by 6th of what? His salary, right? What is his salary we have assumed is nothing but 1500x, right? So 1500x by 6. 3 got cancelled 2 times, 3 got cancelled 500 times, and 2 got cancelled 250 times. So Raju is paying the rent of 250x rupees as a expenditure under the rent. Then he pays 1/5 of the amount to the mother. So again you have to calculate the 1/5 of his income, not the remaining amount. Why? Because he is not mentioned any remaining word. If he mentioned the remaining word, then you have to go with the remaining amount what he has left with. But here remaining word is not mentioned, so clearly go with the initial income of the Raju. So what is the amount is given to his mother is nothing but 1/5 of his income, 1500x, exactly 300x. So this is the amount given to mother. Then what is the next statement? 30% has his education. So he is investing on education 30% of 1500x. What is 10% is nothing but 150. What is 30%? It will going to be 315s are 45, so 450x. And next he keeps 25% aside for the miscellaneous expenditure. So for random expenditures or any small expenditures, he is keeping 25% apart from again his income, which is nothing but what is the half of this income is nothing but 750, right? And half of the 750 is nothing but 375x, right? So 25% is 1500x. Why I have taken double of is nothing but 25% is nothing but 1 by 4 is equal to 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. So very simple, you have to do the calculations very easily by using those techniques. These are the total expenditures and this is his total income. Then what is his savings? 1500x is the income and the total expenditures are 250 and 450 is 700, 700 and 1000. 1375x is his expenditure. Then what is his savings? Is nothing but 125x. If 125x is savings, in the question is giving that he saves 5000 rupees. So if 125x is 5000 rupees, then what is x value? 5000 divided by 125, which is equal to 40 times. Simple, right? So if x equal to 40, then what is his income? Into 40. But no need to calculate about Raju. I need to know about Ravi. Ravi is 900x and x value is 40. So 900 into 40 is your answer. So 4 9s are 36. 36 is option D. Is right. Just you need to go through the theoretical part and you have to convert them into the statements. It will give you the easy answers. Okay, in order to understand you guys, I am doing all the things from elementary level. So in order to do this problem, I will take only up to 30 seconds only. So in order to understand by the each and every student who are listening to this session, that is my main motto. So that's why I am doing this problem right from the root, from the scratch. So please like and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget. Just look into the next question. 3 books contains 3 red color papers, 7 black color papers, 8 red color paper, 2 black color papers and 4 red color papers and 6 black color papers respectively. One of the book was selected at random and a paper is torn off from it. If the paper drawn is in red color, find the probability that it is torn from the third book. For this problem, I am giving you 1 minute time. Your timer starts now. Okay, just look at here. In the question they have given there are 3 books. So I am assuming it as book 1, book 2 and book 3. In book 1 there are 3 red and 7 black. So 3 red color pages or papers, 7 black color papers. In book 2 there are 8 red color papers and in book 2 there are 2 black color papers. In book 3 4 red and 6 black. So this is the data he is given and he is choosing one book at random. What is the probability of choosing one book among these 3 books is nothing but P of B1 is equal to P of B2 is equal to P of B3 is equal to 1 by 3. So you can choose any one book from the among 3 books, right? It is 1 by 3 and a paper turned from it, any one paper turning from it and it is red color. So how many red color papers are there in the book B1 is nothing but 3 red color papers, right? So you have to choose 3 red color papers. Total how many papers are there? Total 10. And the first probability of the first book is 1 by 3. Or you have to choose another red paper from 8 papers. So 8 by how many total papers are there? 10. And what is the probability of book B2? Is nothing but 1 by 3 again, right? So this is the chance that we are selecting or turn off a paper from the book 2. From B2 if you have chosen, how many red papers are there? 4. Out of how many? Again 10 papers. And the probability of selecting this book is 1 by 3. So this is the total probability of selecting a red color paper or turn off a red color paper from any one of the book. It is the total probability. And he is asking about find the probability that turn from the third book. What is the probability of third book? This one only, right? So then what is the probability formula? Is nothing but required by total, which is equal to this is the total number of possibilities and we have to get this probability. So required is nothing but 1 by 3 into 4 by 10 and the total is 3 by 10 plus 1 by 3, sorry it's into, plus 8 by 10 into 1 by 3 plus 4 by 10 into 1 by 3. So all the denominators are equal, right? Why? Because it's 3 into 10, 30. I am writing here. Just look at here. Here it is 30. Here it is also 30. Here it is also 30. And here also denominator 30. So simply 4 by 30 by 3 into 1 3, 8 into 1 8, 4 into 1 4. So 3 plus 8 plus 4, answer is 15. 15 by 30. 30 30 got cancelled. Answer we have left with 4 by 15. So option B is your answer. So just simple thing. Probability is nothing but you have to find the all the cases, all the possibilities, and you have to pick the required possibility in the numerator. That's it. Just look at the next question. Rohan invests an amount of 86,515 in the name of his 3 sons Ravi, Rahul and Ram in such a way that they will get the same amount after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years respectively. If the rate of simple interest is 5%, the ratio of the amounts invested among A, B, C. Yeah, here it is nothing but Ravi, Rahul and Ram. Here they have printed by mistake ABC. So Ravi, Rahul, Ram. Okay. So you have to find the investment ratios. For this problem, I am giving you 1 minute time. Your timer starts now. Okay, just look at the question now. So we have to find the ratio between the amounts obtained by Ravi, Rahul and Ram, right? So I am assuming that Ravi's portion is A and Rahul's portion is B and Ram's portion is C. And we all know that after particular time periods, all are getting the same amount. What is the simple interest formula? Is nothing but PTR by 100, right? The amount. So that implies what is the amount obtained by Ravi? Ravi is investing capital of A into time period is 2 years into 5% is nothing but 5 by 100, PTR by 100 is equal to, both they are all are equal, right? The amounts are equal. So next B into 3 into 5 by 100, just I am substituting the values. C into 4 into 5 by 100. So hundreds got cancelled, 5 got cancelled. That implies 2A is equal to 3B is equal to 4C, which is equal to K. I am assuming that. So that implies A is equal to K by 2 and B is equal to K by 3 and C is equal to K by 4. So what is the ratio between A is to B is to C then? 1 by 2 is to 1 by 3 is to 1 by 4. What is the LCM for 2, 3, 4? Is nothing but simply the LCM is 12, right? So just multiply with 12. 12 get cancelled by 2 in 6 is 2. It is 4 times is 2. This is 3 times. So the required ratio of the amount which you have to distribute among these 3 persons is 6 is to 4 is to 3. Your answer option C. So if you know the ratio and proportions very quickly, you will come up with the one shortcut that 2A is equal to 2B is equal to 3C. Like that, any ratio is there. Simply A is to B is to C will be reciprocals of the ratios. No need to take any other alternatives like this K, all those things. You know how to explain you theoretically. I have assumed it is a K and I have normalized this equation. But if you know the ratio and proportion shortcuts formulas, directly you can go through this step to this step. Just look into the next question now. Deepika bought a microwave oven and paid 15% less than the original price. She sold it with 30% profit on the price she had paid. What percentage of the profit did Deepika earn on the original price? The options are 17%, 25%, 20% and none of these. For this problem, I am giving you 1 minute of time. Your timer starts now. Just look at the solution now. Deepika bought microwave oven and paid 15% less. When I have seen all the question, I didn't find any price of the microwave, right? So I am assuming that the cost price is 100 rupees and she paid 15% less. Then what is the selling price or which she has paid is nothing but, I am assuming that paid amount is 85 rupees. Why? Because she got the discount of 15% and sold it for 30% profit on price she paid. She paid 85 rupees and she increased the, what is 30% of 85 rupees is nothing but 10% is 8.5, 8.5, 8.5. The sum is nothing but 3, 24, 24, 1.5 is nothing but 25.5. If you add 25.5 to the paid amount, you will get the selling price, right, by Deepika. So Deepika selling the product at 30% profit. She already invested 85 rupees and she getting 30% profit on 85 rupees, such that 25.5, which is equal to 85, this one, and 110.5 rupees. This is the selling price. And he is asking that what is the percentage of profit did she earn on the original price. What is the actual price? It is 100 rupees. Now she is selling the product at 110.5 rupees. Then what is the profit she obtained? Is nothing but 100 minus, 110.5 minus 100. This is the selling price, this is the cost price. So the profit is 10.5 rupees. Itself is a percentage. So the answer is 10.5% is the profit when compared to the original price. So options are not given. So none of these is your answer. Just look at the next question. Mr. Bean traveled by a car 6 kilometers to reach his station from his house. Then he boarded a train whose average speed is 60 km per hour, and thus he reached his office. In this way, he took total 3 hours. If the average speed of the entire journey is 32 km per hour, then the average speed of the car is. For this problem, I am giving you 1 minute time. Your timer starts now. Please comment your answers in the comment section, or if you are getting any doubts regarding anything, please provide me your doubts in the comment section. I will definitely give you the reply in the comment sections. Just look at the solution now. How we will do is nothing but Mr. Bean traveled by the car for 6 kilometers and train by 60 km per hour, and total time 3 hours, and average speed is 32 kilometers, and you have to find the speed of the car. Okay. Just look at here. He traveled for total 3 hours and with the average speed 32 km per hour. So then what is the total distance traveled by the Mr. Bean? Is nothing but 3 hours into 32 km per hour, right? Which is nothing but 96. And out of which, in this 96 kilometers, 6 kilometers was traveled by car and remaining 90 kilometers were traveled by train. So why? Because he has given, clearly given. So these 90 kilometers is covered with the speed of 60 km per hour. Why? Because the speed of the train is 60 km per hour. So then what is the time taken by the train? Is equal to 90 km per hour by the speed is 60, which is equal to 1.5 hours. So the time taken by the train is 1.5 hours. Then what is the remaining time traveled by the car? The total time is 3 hours. Already 1.5 hours was traveled by train. So by car he has traveled 1.5 hours. And he has traveled for 1.5 hours by the car for the distance 6 kilometers. Then what is the speed formula? Distance by time, which is equal to 6 kilometers by 1.5 hours, which is equal to 3 got cancels 2 times. Here it is 0.5. So answer is 4 km per hour. Why? Because 0.5 is nothing but again 1 by 2, right? So 2 went to the numerator part and it will multiply with each other. you will get the 4 km per hour as your answer. Please don't forget to subscribe and like our videos. Please hit the like button now. The next question, the day on 15th March of a year is the same day on which day of the same year? For this question, I am giving you only 30 seconds of time. So your timer starts now. Yeah, I hope everyone done well. Just look at the question now. How we will do the day 15th March. So we all know that in order to get the same day, the number of odd days must be equal to 0 between those two dates. Right. So from particular day to another particular day, if the total number of odd days was 0, then the days were same. This is the concept we know. So we have to find the how many number of odd days are there from 15th March to the corresponding options what he has given. Just look at here. The month was started with March. So there is no priority for the leap year or non-leap year. Why? Because already February was completed. All the remaining months are same for all the years, irrespective of leap year or non-leap year. Right? So 15th March to 15th April and 15th April to 15th May and 15th May to 15th May, June, 15th June to 15th July, July to August. So August was given. So at this particular time, you will at the 15th August. So this is the months we have completed from 15th March to our first option 15th August. So just look at here how many odd days we will count it. If the month having 31 days, the odd days is 3. If the month having 30 odd days, the odd days is 2. We all know that, right? So if the month consists of 31 days, the odd days is 3, and month consists of 30 days, we will have a odd days of 2. 15th March to 15th April. Which month 31st will come in this duration of these months is nothing but we will obtain with 31st of the March, right? So just remember that in order to take the odd days for this type of particular months, you have to observe the 31st of the which month. So I am getting 31st of March. So we will have 3 odd days. And we will get 30th of April. So we will have 2 odd days. 31st of May. So 3 odd days. And June having 30 days. So odd days 2. So July consists of 31 days. So odd days 3. So just count it. 3, 6, 6 plus 3, 9, 9 plus 4, 13. So there are 13 odd days. 13 odd days is nothing but again do minus 7, we will get 6 odd days. So this is not your answer. August is not your answer. Just go with the another options. 15th August to already we have obtained with 6 odd days till now. So next 15th August to 15th September and 15th September to 15th October, 15th October to 15th November. Just count the days. August have 3 odd days, September have 2 odd days, and again October have 3 odd days. Already we have obtained with 6, 6 plus 3, 9, 9 plus 3, 12, 12 plus 2, 14. So there are 14 odd days from 15th March to 15th November, and 14 is exactly multiple of 7, so remainder is 0. So we have obtained with 0 odd days, such that the gap between 15th March to 15th November is exactly 0 odd days, such that the answer is 15th October. Just look at the next one. What will be the angle between the two hands of the clock when the time was 25 minutes past 7 o'clock? For this problem, I am giving you only 30 seconds of time. Your timer starts now. "25 minutes past 7 o'clock" means, is it 7:25 or 6:35? First, you have to have a clear idea about the terminology, what they are using in the question. 25 minutes past 7 means it's already 7 was passed away and we have already entered into 25 minutes far from the 7. So, is nothing but 7:25 is your answer, not 6:35. If 6:35 is your answer, he will give you like 25 minutes to 7. There are 25 minutes still there to reach towards the 7. That's why, based on the terminology, you have to decide the time very quickly. Past means already completed, 7:25. 25 minutes to 7 means you have still 25 minutes to reach the 7. So, answer is 6:35. So, your answer is 7:25, right? We all know that the formula is theta is equal to 30h minus 11 by 2m. So, substitute the values of hour and minutes. This is hours and this is the minutes. So, simply 30 into 7 minus 11 by 2 into 25. So, simply 210 minus 1125 are 275 by 2. So, just do one thing, take 1 by 2 common. So, 420 minus 275, if you subtract 5 is there, 40, 13, 14, 145 by 2, 145 is nothing but simply 72 and half. So, your answer is 72 and half is your answer. So, option C is correct. Yeah, that's it guys. That's it for today's session. I hope everyone learned something from these questions. These are some practice questions from the Wipro NLTH which are created by Prabhastha. So before going to end the session, please subscribe and like our videos. Please give us a like if you like this video. So we will see you in the next session. Bye bye.